the power of your mirror-like mind. In secular mindfulness meditation circles, we are taught to bring our minds back to the breath and the body. The attention on the breath is a preliminary practice to help us stabilize our attention. When we can stabilize our attention, we bring our attention to feel the sensations of our entire body. Some might have been taught mindfulness for daily life, where we bring our attention to our body in every activity that we do. Mindfulness is being with the totality of the body and activity without distraction. What is the purpose of this practice? Well, mindfulness helps us discover the mirror-like quality of our mind. What is the mirror-like mind? The easiest way to explain the mirror-like mind is when we self-reflect. Self-reflection is an act of observing and evaluating our thoughts and motivation. By evaluating our thoughts and motivation, we're actually reflecting this content of our own mind to the mirror of our own mind. So from my experience, I have seldom met people who self-reflected this way. Otherwise, it would just be that people are seldom willing to share their self-reflections. In my limited life experience, I observe most people reflect on others' actions critically. Very few evaluate their motivations and how their actions might affect others. Most of us go out into the world expecting the majority to be kind and understanding to us, just as we are kind and understanding to them. When in fact, if we were to closely look at our intentions, we may not be as kind as we think we are. Our mind reflects what the state of the world is like, brimming with the possibility of conflict and war. That's because we often expect the world to be peaceful, without reflecting on the lack of peace in our own minds. What is unpeaceful in our minds, we contribute to the strife we see in the world. Turning the mind inwards to discover peace. Peace is already within us, and it is not found externally. And that's because peace sought externally inevitably involves forced control and obedience of the masses. And peace within you can only reflect the peace outside of you. How does turning the mirror-like mind inward to reflect on your mind's content bring peace? Mindfulness is an active state, not a stagnant one. When our attention is stabilized on our body, we live in the present moment. It is only in the present moment that we can view feelings, thoughts, and intentions that arise in our experience, such as our activities and interactions. Self-reflection with mindfulness differs from the usual mind commentary and feelings we observe of others' actions. Instead of commenting on others' shortcomings, we look at our reactions and how these reactions can cause us to feel unhappy, especially when thought and feelings, persistently blaming another for our misery, keeps arising. And how does observing these critical negative thoughts and feelings help us discover the peace that is already within us? What stays in the mirror-like quality of the mind? After learning not to react to these negative thoughts and feelings, and allowing them to arise, stay for a while, and depart from the mirror of the mind, we might start to wonder, are we really our thoughts and feelings? Aren't we our thoughts, or at least feelings? Isn't that why we continuously occupy our minds with something to do, so that we can feel that we are here, alive? The power of mindfulness helps us observe that thoughts and feelings aren't permanent. They don't stay. What causes certain thoughts and feelings to stay is that we might derive pleasure from thinking of them or not wanting to experience them. Wanting to avoid something inevitably causes us to think about it. After a while, we get bored of certain thoughts and feelings as well. What are we then if we are not our thoughts and feelings? Why the mirror-like mind escapes our attention? We have spent much of our lives studying the causes of these thoughts and feelings and who they are caused by, mostly attributing them to external factors and leading us not to take responsibility for them. Most of us give our attention to negative thoughts and feelings because we don't like them and want to get rid of them. Seeing with mindfulness how they are impermanent provides much relief, as we no longer have to act on negative emotions. We also don't need to ignore them because they don't stay anyway. Therefore, we can learn to be accepting and compassionate to our negative thoughts and emotions when they arise, to soften their short existence. If adventitious thoughts and feelings don't stay, and they are not us, then what stays? What can we identify with? Our mirror-like mind stays. Since our clear reflective mind does not have any content, it has no negativity. And because it also does not have any pleasurable feelings or thoughts, we don't give it attention. And not giving it attention, we think that it is a blank state. But the truth is, it isn't. Exploring the state of your empty mind. The mind, as taught in mindfulness, does not reside in your brain. The mind is a processing machine. It has no feelings. We act from our feelings, and these feelings we feel with our hearts. What can also be felt in the heart that has nothing to do with the intellectual processes of the brain is intuition. Mindfulness teaches us that our mind rests in our entire body. We are able to reflect without thinking. Moreover, reflection involves the heart. When we allow adventitious thoughts and feelings to fall away, since they come and go with external stimulations, we can start to pay attention to this mirror-like mind of ours that is always there. When our attention begins to stay comfortably on this empty, self-reflective mind, we may discover its radiance and peace. The peace from this empty but clear mind comes from the heart. There are many ways to express this quality of a mirror-like mind that is empty, but the best way is to experience and to live it. By staying and identifying with this pristine and clear empty mind, we begin to feel contented and realize that contentment, just like peace, has always been with us. It is our erroneous belief that these are to be sought and found outside of us that we have created much strife in our world and chaos on our planet.